and that's it. Right. So as people still think about what they expect from this session, I'm going to share with you a few things here and there. Do I have people here who have attended my lessons before? Like in first time you were attending these lessons? Anyone who was here last year who lead? People are still thinking that they were here or not. Okay. So I am going to share a document here that you're going to be using. And then I want a very, very active class. So let me share the document very fast so that people can see what work that has senior one work. It also has senior two work. It even has some bits of senior three work, but we shall not go there. For us, we shall just end at senior two. So we are going to be doing a bits of senior one work and bits of senior two work. I am not very sure where you people have stopped, but I will establish that along the way. I'll get to know where you people have stopped, where you people have stopped learning. So let me share what I want us to talk about. What's happening? I'm opening the document that I want us to share with you people. So I'm sharing now. It's here. You let me know if you are seeing you're viewing the document already. Can you view what I'm sharing already? You can see. Anybody who can see what I'm sharing? I think people will be responding. Yes, you can see. Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
Good.
yes.
So here, this is a summary of what we teach. And it has this table here shows the elements of construct. Getting a lot of feedback here.
Migration and settlement in East Africa since regional growth, state formations in East Africa, regions in East Africa, local and external.
Technologies in the work of scripture scientify no legit for participation pap huh? Mwenye ruti lo kidana na phone Samuel eh na Samuel tende maruti online mwenye tu uneloma wale
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to read through this scenario. And after reading through the scenario, we read through the task and we see the expected responses. So I want someone who is ready to read. Please read aloud so that we all can hear what you're saying. And then we interpret the task so fast and we proceed.
Seminar, seminar
Oh,
discussion
okay.
responses.
Yes, please read.
One of the leading government policies today is to promote the study of science subjects to in order to realize Vision 2040. Because of the above policy, learners have been discouraged from studying history and political education as one of the arts. They don't want to attend lessons, revise and discuss history and political education because they have believed that studying it is a waste of time. Your your school administration your school administration is concerned about this new trained and has organized an inter-schools discussion to check on it. Your school is the host and your history and political education has requested you to be the team leader and convincing your colleagues to take history and political education seriously.
Read the task also.
Task: as a resourceful learner of history and political education, build the morale in learners in your school, district, and nation at large that studying history and political education is not a waste of time.
Thank you. Now, when you're faced with a task like that, and you are going to start answering, the first thing you do is to identify and define the key words or the key concepts in the scenario. And if you look at the scenario there, the key concept or the key word is history. I think if you look at the scenario, what is the problem in the scenario? What are they trying? What are the students struggling with? Have you figured out what the problem is? Because you're supposed to provide solutions to those problems. So there is a negative feeling or a negative energy, negative attitude that is growing among students. They don't even want to attend lessons of history and political education. They feel history is useless. They feel they should not read it, they should not study it. Maybe it's because it is something of the past. And now they have organized a seminar in your school and you're the lead facilitator. They are saying you should teach these people why they need to study what? They need to study history. Now, I think this takes us to the beginning of history. Actually, it is going to ask us to first define history, and then we start navigating through the reasons why history must be studied in school. Those are the answers to this one, to this question. So I want someone who's ready. What is history? When you talk about history, what do they mean? Where does it come from? Yes? Who is ready to? Yes, Mati, Clara. Clara, you can talk to us. What is history?
History is the study of the past, and history is the study of the past in order to predict the future.
Okay, the study of the past so that we predict the future. Correct. And after defining the keyword, let us look in our introduction here because our SMers have an introduction. So your definition of history is going to be part of your introduction. Like if you read through here, they are telling us what is the origin of this word history. Much as some people these days, they go ahead and they say that history means his story. Whose story? The story of the man of the past. But the word history simply comes from the Greek word historia, which means to find out. Yes, that's what it means. So for us as history scholars, we are people who do a lot of research because we deal with things that happened in the past. So that means that as we do our history in order to help us to understand what to do in when we face with challenges in the future, for us we use past what? Experiences as learning points to predict what we should do in case we face problems in the future. People always say that history repeats itself. Do you believe so? Do you believe that history repeats itself? Who
No.
believes that history repeats itself? Yeah. Is it true that history repeats itself?
Yes.
How? How does history repeat itself? I think I think people repeat the same mistakes. And so in that case, we see history again coming to life. The mistakes, the events, the things that people did in the past, if they do it again, then we say that history is in the making. History is now repeating it what? Itself. All right. So again, I'm going to ask somebody to read for us these responses that somebody is going to present in the seminar. These are the expected responses. Members, don't only limit yourself to what we have here. I know in your various schools, there are so many other reasons why they gave you why we study history that you may not have captured here. So I need someone to read for me. Read for me through
Bring for me those
these.
books there. My books. Yeah, I'm the table. I'm the table.
Can we keep
Both of them. Two of them.
our microphones off? Only someone who's speaking is the one who should keep their microphone on. So I want someone to read for me these expected responses very fast. Should we go back to Clara? Because other people, they are just not responding. Okay, I can see Zenda X. Please go ahead, read for us the expected responses under the introduction. Oh, Nansana Angel. Anybody who's ready, please start right away.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay, please go on.
Okay. Introduction. The learner begins by identifying the key concepts in the scenario and identifying it or them. History comes from the Greek word historia, which means to find out about the truth or search for more information. History is the subject that studies past events. It makes a comparison with the present in order to predict the future. On the other hand, political education is comprised of two words: political, which is a set of activities associated with government of a country or an area that makes a decision that affects the group members, and education, which is the process of acquiring knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habits of a given society. Political education is therefore the process of teaching learners about the politics of a group, a country, or organization where the individuals belong. Therefore, there is need for learners to attend, revise, and discuss history and political education due to the following importance. History provides important lessons from the past, mistakes and failures. For example, the past wars, conflicts, leadership mistakes, morals and historical backgrounds, which helps the society from repeating the same mistakes. Therefore, it is important to encourage the study of history and political education due to the strategic lessons we learn from it.
Proceed.
Studying history and political education helps to promote and preserve cultural heritage. This helps a certain society to learn other societies' physical assets, such as visual art, food, clothing, styles of architecture, and non-physical assets such as legends, music, and values like generosity. Therefore, history and political education is very important due to its cultural importance that vary from one society to another. It helps individuals to separate facts from fictions. It's important to note that history provides evident solutions to the current problems. For example, the historical writings at certain historical sites like rocks, such as Omweso, game by the Bachwezi on many rocks, the amazing growth of some places or sites like Mabere, Ganinamwiri in Kabarore district, among others, solves a problem of fiction. Therefore, history is the key in differentiating the facts from fiction about some happenings through its visible sides. It promotes justice by raising awareness of the past and present injustices and inequalities. For example, the killing of twins out of speculous, wait, out of speculations that they were a misfortune. The unpopular divorce system in traditional Africa, slavery, forced marriages of the past, among others, have been rectified and justice has reigned in most societies. History and political education therefore create justice and quality in our societies, drawing from the past mistakes. History and political education promotes global citizenship by promoting an understanding of international relations, global issues, and cultural diversity.
Yes, proceed. I can't
Um,
quite hear. Okay, proceed,
Studying
proceed.
history inspires leadership by providing examples of courageous leaders. For example, leaders and leadership skills from inspiring African leaders like Omukama Kabalega, Dr. Milton Obote, Mwalimu Nyerere Julius, and Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, among others, have left a lot of lessons to learn from their past achievements. This is one of the cardinal reasons why history and political education must be key in the development of any country. It promotes peace by encouraging dialogue, reconciliation, and understanding between nations. Every time a conflict is about to break out, leaders first refer to the previous wars and their shortcomings and find it important to opt for peace instead. For example, in Uganda, the 1885-1900 Waingereza, Wafaransa wars have remained a reference factor in avoiding future wars. National peace has been preserved because of history. Therefore, studying history is not a waste of time. History and political education encourage critical thinking skills as it requires evidence and evaluating arguments. History and political education prepares students who are future citizens for participation in public life. Through the teaching of history and political education, learners are taught and made to know about their rights, duties, and responsibilities. History and political education helps learners to create unity in diversity. When the colonialists invaded East Africa, some societies forgot their social differences and joined hands to fight the common enemy, which was colonialism. It is only in history a learner is exposed to such ideas of generosity, solidarity, peace, and unity. Therefore, history and political education is an important factor in the day-to-day running of societies. History and political education helps learners to appreciate the positive role of liberation movements and international organizations in the struggle for democracy and human rights. For example, the presence of both governmental and non-governmental organizations like UNICEF, UN, TASO, UNHCR have promoted democracy and health in East Africa through acting as pressure groups to have governments work on the grievances of her people. In conclusion, fellow learners should take history and political education seriously because it helps us gain skills which are employable in future. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, Angel. I think you have delivered. So people have been listening, and now we know. that history is not as useless and not as of low value as the people were reading or as the people were thinking. So I am thinking at the end of this lengthy reading that you've gone through. Now, if people had come for the seminar and they were really having that negative attitude towards history and political education, by this time they should be convinced. And maybe by this time they should be asking you questions. So if history is very important, then why is it that the government is paying the people who have done science more? All those are questions that will be running in the minds of the people you have just talked about. But it is very important for us to acknowledge that history is a very, very important ingredient that can lead you to a very bright future. And that's why we teach it. That's why it is very enjoyable. That's why we still want it. And they've made it easier now. You have seen? We have read 12 points. So these days, they don't want as many points as for us during our time. For us who were born before computers, we wrote very many points. For you who are living in the digital era, you are writing few points. Anyway, something else you should have learned is that in every point they expect you to explain a lot. I think you've seen how I've labored to prepare this. This is how you should do. Give your answers. It should have an introduction. You saw how an introduction looks like. It should have a conclusion. And you've seen how a conclusion looks like. So at this point, I want people to maybe give other reasons why you think we should have history in school. What are the other issues that you have not captured here that you think we should really add into our answer when we are answering this question? What is not here? Please add some points that are not here. Mhm. I am trying to follow the charts here. In the charts, and I am seeing nothing related to, I'm seeing nothing related to the lesson. In fact, people are abusing themselves in the chats. People, can you stop this? Eh? I am seeing ZX. Please stop this language. King Von, stop this language here. Remember your chats, I can see all of them. Hmm? Everything you write, I can see. Look at this. Hmm? I think some of you, I'm going to just go and remove you because the language you're using. I was about to ask the name of your school, but I'm not going to ask. So ZX, please make sure you don't repeat that language because I will ask your school. King Von, I will ask your school. Yeah? All these people here, I am going to ask your school. And you tell me why you are doing this in class. This is my class. So stay warned. Right. So let us come back to class and we talk serious things. And we'll stop that useless chats that people are having in the chat section. So what else should we talk about? Yes, I want answers here. Can I have answers? What haven't we captured that you think we should have captured? I expect people in the chats to give me responses concerning the lesson. I don't know where you got your beef from and you started abusing people. Right, so what haven't we captured that we should capture here? Why do we study history? Mhm. I am going to display people who are still abusing themselves. I will share the screen and then people see. And then I will ask you to tell us your school openly. And I can remove you, by the way, if you don't know. I can remove you from this lesson. So let us come back. History helps us to understand how East Africa is formed, why the colonists came here. Yes, that is correct. It helps us to know about our past. That is also correct. I'm waiting for responses. If you don't want to respond in the chats, you can give you an opportunity, speak to us. Learning about national heroes, why we celebrate those heroes day, correct? History helps us to
I
understand.
ain't hearing the teacher anymore.
Are you not hearing me? Seriously, you're not hearing me? Yes, Angel. Are you also not hearing me?
Oh,
Are
I
you
had an
hearing me?
answer.
Okay,
I'm
yes,
hearing you,
please.
teacher.
Yeah, share with us your answer.
Um, History helps us appreciate and understand cultures of various
Mhm.
tribes and societies.
Very good. So we learned that it's not only always about our tribe. Have you met people whom on your first date of meeting them, and then one of the few questions they are going to ask you is, so what tribe are you? Do you meet such people? They are asking you, among the few things they're asking you, after knowing your name, they're asking what tribe are you? Anyway, that is not very important, but that shows you that they are aware that you are not of their tribe. So they just want to know, and they are willing to, they want to know where you're coming from. And that doesn't mean that you're going to stop being their friend. So history helps you to dig out all that information about the people's origins. And so history is a very important subject. Maybe we should not dwell too much into this. We should go to the next question, the next scenario. We have seen why we study history in school, and then we go to item number two. Let's see, number two, who wants to read for us? Number two, we have about, yes, 30 minutes. So we need to read through this very fast. Who wants to read for us item number two? Remember, reading is a privilege that is given to just a few people who are willing. Yes, who wants to read? Okay. I don't know the name, but I see Techno BG6M. Please read. If you're using this gadget, I can't see your name, but it's telling me it is Techno BGM, BG6M. Okay, please go on, read for us. Please go on. I have unmuted you. Please go on and read. I cannot hear you. All right, we are going to go with someone else who is ready. Who else is ready who wants to read? Techno, come on. You see, I can't. So if you're using a Techno, come on, please, you're going to tell us your name first because we don't want to call you Madam Techno or Mr. Techno. What can you, if you're using Techno, come on and your hand is up, please go on, unmute yourself and continue reading. Oh, we are having trouble people unmuting themselves. Oh no, I have four people now whose hands are up. The first person to unmute him or herself will be the one to read. Please unmute yourself and read. Uh,
Fortunately, they don't know where to start from and have come to you for advice. Task: you have been approached by some of these individuals. Use the knowledge you gained from class to advise on the steps these people can take to achieve their goal.
Thank you very much. What's your name again?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay, now I know your name. So, Elizabeth, first help us interpret the scenario. What do you think is in that short story, that scenario? What are they telling us? If you read through it very fast, they are saying during the Bush war brought during the Bush war that brought the NRM to power, some Ugandans ran to neighboring countries and became refugees. Some of these people died in exile while others came back. Now, their children have grown and they feel too isolated, lonely, without relatives. As a result, these people have returned to their country, Uganda, but now they don't know where to start. So they're asking, you have been approached by some of these people and they know you know a lot of history. So they're asking you, help them to find their people. What to do to them to help them to find their people. So where do we start from? You see, we need to help these people find their people. So this takes us to the origin of what? The origin of man.
Man.
The sources of history. I mean, the sources of history. How do we help these people? You're going to start helping them by asking them very many questions. Maybe you're going to ask them, okay, so you said you come from here. Who was your grandfather? Which language was he speaking? So by asking them those questions, you're now digging out into linguistics. You're digging out to see if the language resembles the language of the people that you know. Or you're going to ask them for this. If they are, for example, if they are Uganda, it will be for you to tell that, okay, so you said you are from here, yes. What is your name? And then their name will just suggest if they are Uganda or not. In fact, it will even suggest which clan they are belonging to. And then it will be easy for you to tell, okay, fine. So if you are a member of this clan, let us see if we have members of that clan in this area, and then you'll be guiding them in that direction. So you are looking at the sources of what? The sources of history. And maybe you are going to go and see if there are some written records. But which kind of written records can now be used to trace for the origins of the parents of these people who were lost long time ago? Yes. Let me ask. For you guys, have you been, do we have people in this class who have been baptized in church? Like you've been baptized, there are two baptisms in most churches. They baptize you when you're young, and they also baptize you when you are now of age. And then you also have people who are born in hospitals. Their records are in all the hospitals. So if, for example, they say that they are coming from that area, so you ask them, was your father a Christian? Yes. Do you remember his name? They say yes. Okay, fine. Then the rest they leave it to you. For you are now going to look around the churches and see if there is someone who has ever been baptized in that church. Who has that name? So the church will give you their register and you look into their registers and see, yes. And if you get that, that is now a source of written record that you can get about the people of the past, maybe who even died. So we are looking at all the written records that you can get that can help these people to get their what? Their people. All right. So let us see. somebody who wants to read to continue reading the suggested responses that can help us or help these people whose people are lost to find their origins. Okay, who wants to read the? Should we continue with Elizabeth or somebody else? Who wants to take the opportunity to read for us the responses? They are here. If somebody is ready, please just go on. We are not going to waste much time. Yes. Elizabeth, if you're there still, you can proceed. Or we get another person.
Sources of history refers
Sources
to
of
various means of knowledge.
Okay, proceed.
History refers to the various means through which historical information are preserved and transmitted from one generation to another. The children ask the should use the available written records such as newspapers, birth certificates, baptism cards, and diaries can be used in order to trace their relatives. They are advised to use oral tradition by asking and listening to stories of people from Lueru Triangle and other places where the war was based. This can do better for these people to trace their relatives. The children can also be advised to use archaeology by excavating the remains of the Bush war victims to see if they are related to their relatives. In that way, the children shall be able to trace the origins of their relatives. They can also employ anthropology in their endeavors to find their relatives by studying the current ways of life in Luweru and other places where the war was based. That is, by studying their cultures like dressing, dancing, and food taboos to see if they are related to theirs. If this source is well applied, the children will be able to find their relatives.
Please proceed.
They can visit historical sites where the victims of the Bush War were buried in big numbers. For example, they can visit the Luweru Memorial Mass Grave and check if they are relatives. And check
Yes, proceed. Proceed. We are listening.
that's where it stops on my screen. If their relatives' names are among the people who died in the war. In this way, the children will be able to know and find their relatives' destinations. By carrying out DNA analysis with the people around the area we suspect to be roots of their parents. In conclusion, if the above steps are followed, the above group of people probably can find their lost relatives.
Okay, thank you so much. I think now I have seen what you can do in case somebody whose relatives are lost or they lost their relatives come to you and you're the history consultant. Those are the steps you should follow, or those are the strategies you should use to help them. Now, this takes us back to the sources of history. I think you've seen how they set these questions. They bring a scenario that requires you to dig deep into your knowledge of history, and then you start applying the knowledge that you were taught in a history class, and you bring it to life in such a way. And I'm sure that is how they have been giving you tests. So, like I said earlier, I said that we are going to have this lesson for strictly 1 hour. It is not yet 1 hour. We still have 13 minutes. So, is there anything that you think we did not capture here? What else can we do to help these people find their relatives that you think is not in this piece of literature we have just been reading? Anything that you think we should add, share with us. If you have anything you think we should add, if there is nothing, it is also okay. We can proceed. So those are the expected what? Responses. Is there any question that you have that you want me to answer? Because we are running towards the end of our lesson. Any questions so far, you can share with us here in the chats, or you can still put up your hand so that we give you an opportunity to speak. Yes, Angel.
Teacher, I have a question. How many points are you supposed to give exactly? Is there a definite number they want?
Good question. Okay, there are many ways teachers mark, and I am sure the teachers will tell you different answers to that question. But if you were being marked out of 20,
Yes.
we have 1 mark for the introduction, and then you have 1 mark for the conclusion. Those are two what? 2 marks
2
already.
marks.
And then, as we are marking, we give up to a maximum of 3 marks on every point, where 1 mark is for historical knowledge. Historical knowledge here is where you state the point, and then we give 1 mark for historical. There's historical knowledge, then there is a historical, I think historical
Understanding.
understanding, yes, and then historical application. That now takes us back here where we didn't want to go, but because you have asked, let me now show people here what is required. Okay, so it is not historical understanding, it is historical thinking. If you read that, you read here, you're going to see these are the general issues that we look at when you are marking the question you've answered. Have you seen? If you read that
Yes.
first paragraph, read it through it. So if you read through that, it answers your question. So we have one mark for the historical knowledge, the other mark for the historical thinking, which is the explanation, and the other mark is the historical what? Application. So it means for you to get the 20 marks, you will be required to give at least 6 correct what? Responses, if the teacher is marking in the standard way.
Yes.
But that does not mean that you should only give 6. It means that please give more, just in case some are wrong. I always tell my students that at least give 10 what? 10 points. Just that in case some are wrong, you are still what? You're still safe. So I think that is the question you were asking.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And Welcome. Any other question? Yes, I think this is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you have a question? Okay. In case you have a question, please just unmute yourself and ask. We are waiting for the questions to come in and we give the responses accordingly.
Okay, excuse me.
Yes?
I have a question.
Please ask.
Okay, Rita went for a tour with her friends, and then she saw the tour guide who resembled the brother. She told the friends about it, but the friends say that maybe that's the brother from another mother. And then she went to her father. When she went back for holidays, she asked the father, but the father denied, but she was not convinced. And then she wanted to find out by herself. So she has approached you for help. How can you answer? Which topic is it even?
Okay. Where did you get that question?
In a paper.
Like in was that the exam that you did or exactly which paper?
Yeah, the exam that I did.
Because I have seen that question somewhere before that you did, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
So would you want to give us some of the answers that you gave, or you want us to just give you our opinion?
Give me your opinion.
Okay, great. So they are saying Rita went for her tour. She found a man was resembling the found. Did Rita find the someone who was resembling the father, like the kid resembles the father so much? And then
No,
she
the
came
tour
back,
guide
asked the father if the father has another. It is the tour guide who resembles the father of Rita. Okay.
Yes, and the brother.
And the brother. It is still takes us back to the sources of history. I wanted to give you the answer to that question because I have it here. So it takes us back to the sources of history. Sources of history that we study, and then you have to now go back to the sources of history to find out, does this, you're going to ask this person a lot of questions. Does this person have, do they share the same tribe with your father? Do they like share the same clan? Do their father, does the person have a father who has ever lived where your father lives? All those are questions that you would have to ask. If there is nothing like that, then perhaps it means that the two are not even related. So it takes you back to the origin of, the sources of history. That is what you do. I hope I have
Okay.
answered you. Yes.
Can
I'm
they
trying to
ask for
look for
something?
the.
Excuse
Please
me?
ask the question. I have not heard that. Yes.
Can they ask for sources of history in different scenarios in the same paper?
No, they would not ask sources of history in two different scenarios in the same paper, because sources of history, that is one topic, so they cannot ask in two sources, in two scenarios, unless that is the only topic you have covered in school. So they would
No?
not do that.
Where's there's a
You have another question? In case you have another question, please feel free to ask. You want to give a chance to other people also to ask questions.
Okay,
Let's go back here.
that very paper, there was another question asking for sources of history.
Sources of history. And the sources of history now, I think you have seen. We have talked about the different sources of history. Now you know them. Yes. Any other question someone has? If in case someone else has a question, please ask. We have only 3 minutes left. Only 3 minutes to go. In case there's any other question someone wants to ask, we could ask now. Otherwise, we are running towards the end of our lesson. Okay. I can see, is this Elizabeth? Elizabeth, did you have any question? Okay, if you have any question, please unmute yourself and ask now. Otherwise, we have only 2 minutes left. Okay, guys, if there's no other question, maybe people have questions, will now ask me the question, or you ask the question in the group. Unfortunately, your groups, you can't say anything. Okay, Angel, please ask you the last person.
Is it possible for you to send these notes like on the group?
Yes, it is possible. If you had told me earlier, I would have shared it even here in the chat. But I'm going to send in the group. The only challenge with the group is that can you download if I send to the group? Can you?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to share a lot of materials in the group so people can get access to them. I'm going to send this particular one I've used and even others in the group.
Yes.
So I'm
Thank
giving this
you.
last chance to, I think this should be Elizabeth. I don't know why I'm thinking it's Elizabeth who wants to. Okay. Okay, what last question? The last question, if there's no last question, then we stop here. Okay, guys, it has been a wonderful time having you. Next time, we are going to go for 2 hours. Today, we have had 1 hour because there is something else I am running to do. Who is this hand up? Maxima. Maxima. You have a question? If
It's
there's
not the
anybody
question,
who
just
has a question, please ask before we end the lesson. Yes?
can you send more scenarios?
Okay, I am going to send in the group. I'm going to upload a lot of in the group. You're going to see them. Just the moment you log out here, you're going to find a lot of things uploaded in the group. So don't worry. Okay, guys, have a good day. We are going to meet another time.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
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 Bye-bye, everyone.
Another 1, 2, 3,
Au
4,
revoir.
5, 6 guys. Bye, 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 bye,
Au
bye, bye, bye.
revoir.
This thing is done. Bye, bye, bye. Nigga, fuck all of you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Guys, bye.
Au revoir.
Adios. Adios.
Etienne.
So stop chatting for us.
Zaitian.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.